So if we want to factor a trinomial of the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where the leading coefficient a is a number other than positive 1, we can use this method whose steps are outlined on the left. And so doing that, let's try solving 2x squared minus 13x plus 15 using this method. So step 1 says to form the product a times c. So you want to multiply the first coefficient by the last coefficient, which gives us positive 30. Step 2 says we have to find a pair of numbers whose product is a times c and whose sum is b. So this is similar to factoring a trinomial whose coefficient is 1. So what we want to do is take 30 and we want to factor it into all its possible factors and find two numbers such that when you add them give you negative 13. So what are the factors of 30? Well, 30 times 1 or negative 30 times negative 1, right? Excuse me. What else? We can have 2 times 15 or negative 2 times negative 15, right? And we want to add these guys up in our head to see if we get negative 13. Nothing yet, right? So then the next is 3 times 10 or negative 3 times negative 10. And notice we can stop here, right? Because negative 3 times negative 10, when you multiply them, give you positive 30, and when you add them, give you negative 13. So let's erase all this scrap work, and what we want to write is negative 3, negative 10. Because negative 3 times negative 10 give us positive 30, and negative 3 plus negative 10 give us negative 13. So we found the numbers in step 2. Now step 3 says rewrite the polynomial to be factored so the middle term bx is written as the sum of the two terms whose coefficients are the two numbers found in step 2. So what we want to do is rewrite 2x squared minus 13x plus 15 as 2x squared minus 10x minus 3x plus 15. So notice we didn't change anything, right? So negative 10x minus 3x equals negative 13x if we combine like terms. And the way we wrote it this way is because of step 4, which says to factor by grouping. So so from step 2 we found negative 10x and negative 3x, and then the last step is to factor by grouping. So you want to group the first two terms together and the last two terms together, and then factor out the GCF, or the greatest common factor, from each group. So from the first two numbers, 2x squared minus 10x, you can factor out a 2x, and what are you left with is x minus 5. And then from here we have negative 3x plus 15, right? And notice that we want to get an x minus 5 as well. So if you factor out a negative 3, what's left with is x minus 5. And our goal is to get x minus 5 in both of those terms, because then we can factor out that x minus 5, and we're left with 2x minus 3, which is the factorization of 2x squared minus 13x plus 15. So now we factor our terms, and if you feel inclined, you can always check by foiling these guys back in. So in red, this becomes 2x squared minus 3x minus 10x plus 15, which is 2x squared minus 13x plus 15, which is what we wanted, right? It's the problem up top. So that's how you factor this trinomial.